Wouldn't it be helpful if the camera was on and recording? Let's try that again. We are monsters. We give and we take. Hey Bookish Babes, welcome to my book nook. If you're new around here, the name's Rainy. I read all different types of genres, primarily fantasy romance, so if you're interested in that, please keep watching. Alright, second time around. This is the beginning of episode 4 of my Booktuber Taste Test, where I asked one of my friends to collaborate with me, and we each recommend each other and read 3 books. A book that we loved, a book that we didn't love, and a book that we haven't read yet. But the goal is that hopefully the other person will enjoy all 3 of them, whether or not we liked them. And so, in episode 1, we had Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading. Episode 2, we had Leandra from the TBR 0. Episode 3 was Julie from Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. And episode 4 is Vanessa from Reads with Dr. B. I picked Vanessa because I feel like we have a lot of books in common, especially when it comes to like the fantasy romance side of things. And so I figured this would be a fun one to do. So, with that being said, what's going to happen is I'm going to play her video now and find out which 3 books I'm going to be reading for this vlog. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little scared. We did set some parameters, like we wanted to pull from our physical TBRs so that we could be kind to ourselves. And so we sent each other our physical TBRs. And so, you know, with that comes a whole lot of options. So with that being said, let's see which books I'm going to read for this vlog.
Hi Rainy, it's me, Vanessa, obviously. I just wanted to thank you for inviting me to do this collab with you, and I'm very excited because I think that we have some very similar taste and that we're going to have a really good time reading the books that we choose for each other. So, Rainy has asked me to choose 3 books, one of them being a book that I loved that I think that Rainy will also love. Another book being a book that I didn't particularly like or love, but I think that it would do a lot better with Rainy reading it. And then third, a book that I haven't read that I think that I and Rainy would love. So the 3 books that I'm going to pick, and these are in no particular order because she wants to guess which book I've chosen for her lines up with which book prompt. So I'm going to put these in kind of like random order, not tell you them in the order I just listed the prompts. The 3 books that I want Rainy to read are Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and Yearning For Her by Tiffany Roberts. I'm really excited to hear what you're going to think of these books, Rainy. Please don't hate me if you hate all 3 of these books, but I don't think you will. I think that you will really, really like at least one of them, but I hope all 3 of them. Thanks again, Rainy. Bye.
Vanessa, we about to mince what? We're about to, I have so many thoughts. Okay. Let's break them down one by one. Let me get the books. So she first recommended Ninth House. Immediate thoughts, oh dear God, because I soft DNF'd this in my Get a Clue readathon last November. I got about 30-40 pages in and it just wasn't the time. I feel like it wasn't the time to try to have to binge read this book. This book does not need to be binge read. So I'm already hesitant because I've already soft DNF'd. So that's not boding well. Then we have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I literally got this from Amazon like 3 days ago. And while I was beyond excited when she said this one, I was also not, because homegirl, there's no audio for this. There's no audio, and it's 600 pages, and Girly Pop is back at school. When am I gonna read this? Vanessa? Oh, it's fine. And then don't even get me started on Yearning For Her. Not only have I never heard of that book, or actually I've heard of that book now, I'll explain in a minute. Never had I ever heard of that book before in my life until yesterday. That is not on my physical TBR. Vanessa, you're strayed away from the physical TBR. Also, I already know automatically which one is which because I wasn't going to guess, okay? So, let me talk you through this. Quicksilver came out in June. It is July. I don't know if Vanessa will have read this that quickly. She could have, but I just don't buy it. And I feel like she thinks we're going to both love this. And so I'm figuring it out for the 2 of us. Ninth House. Definitely not a book that Vanessa enjoyed. I can't foresee this being her cup of tea. But the real reason that I know those 2 is because I know Yearning For Her is the one that she loved, because not only did she release a reading vlog yesterday where she vlogs about this book, and I did watch that. She also is doing an author interview today while I'm filming this with that author. I'm like, Vanessa, you outed yourself. So anyway, I'm 100% sure that these other ones are what I said they are. So let's go over them one more time. Yearning For Her is the one that she loved. This is the one she doesn't know if she's going to love. And this is the one that she didn't. Watch me get it right. I've gotten every single episode right so far. No one has stumped me. They tried, but they haven't gotten me just yet. All right, on to the vlog. Let's see which book I read first. Okay, friends, I'm gonna get you with an update for Quicksilver. This is the first book that I started reading for our collab because this is the only one that I don't have audio for. Actually, I didn't even check to see if I had audio or not for the Katie Roberts one, but you know what? That one is not nearly as long as this book. This book is about just over 600 pages and it doesn't have an audio. So I figured I needed to tackle this sooner than later, especially with me being back to work because, you know, work is hindering me getting to read as much, which is so tragic. But anyway, I'm 30% into this book and I need to give you thoughts before I keep going because otherwise I will just devour this book. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm not gonna lie. The first about 60, 70-ish pages, I wasn't understanding the hype. I wasn't understanding why everybody loved it. Like, the love interest hadn't come in yet. It was just all right. Like, I was interested, but I wasn't really sure where the story was going to go. And now that we are, like, in the thick of it, there's so much that I want to talk about this book. So I will try to keep this as spoiler close as possible. But I really am liking this book. Okay, so how do I even explain what this book is about? Okay, our main girl, Asha, and she lives in the 3rd ward, which basically, they're all basically treated like the scum of the earth, like peasants, basically, in that ward. Like, they're hardly given any water or rations or things. And so, in the very beginning of the book, she is running away from, like, the guardians of the 3rd ward because she stole one of their gauntlets and she was planning on selling it to like make money or like whatever she was going to do with it. And she happens to give it to her brother for safekeeping for like a second, and her brother runs away with it like because he realizes what she has and decides that he's going to do something about it. He gets caught. They're going to kill him. Something happens to her. I'm not going to say what happens. And then she ends up falling through this portal to the other side to this kingdom called Evelia, if I'm saying it right. And basically the king there has said, wow, your power, like I've been needing that power this whole entire time to like take back my country and like get all of my, you know, people back. And so you're going to be stuck here until you basically help me free my people through a certain way that I'm not going to say because I don't want to give all of that away. He ends up having to team up with his son and he basically says, you have a week to train her and then I need her to do what I want her to do. And so that's where our love interest, Kingfisher, comes in. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes with our bad boy Debonair. And I'm just loving this. I'm just loving this. The banter is so spot on. And like they are actually enemies to lovers. Like the way that like I can't even tell you. Like there are so many like lines that I should have quoted. I should be tabbing this and I'm so sad that I'm not, but it's okay because I'm just gonna have to read it again when audio comes out and I will do it again. But there are so many times that I read that and I went, yes, that is iconic. That is a line. There is one part, and this is not putting anything away, where he's like not calling her name. I don't know why I said her name was Asha earlier. Her name is not Asha. Her name is Cyrus, but he keeps calling her Asha, and I don't even remember why. There was a reason he was calling her that, and it was like a banter quip, but it's fine. Anyway, there's a line where she says, my name is Cyrus or nothing at all, and that's it. And then he goes, okay, nothing at all. And so she like kind of stepped into that, but I just thought that was hilarious. And then their first moment, I'm giddy. I'm absolutely loving this. I understand why everybody is loving this. I am so surprised, especially because apparently this is this author's first foray into fantasy romance. She normally writes like dark romance and like stuff like that. I can't even tell you enough that I love this book and I just love our bad boy Kingfisher. I want to know what's going on. There is a trope in here that I have discovered that I'm a very big fan of. And I don't want to necessarily say what it is because I don't think it actually gives anything away because I feel like that wouldn't explain to you like why that's an important trope, but I don't want to give it away. But there's a trope that I have discovered that after this book and after reading another book that had that same trope about 2 weeks ago, that is a trope that I'm very much here for and I'm a little obsessed. But anyway, I'm having my best time with this. I'm so glad that Vanessa's making me read this. Oh, and I didn't say this, or I know I said this in the first clip, but this is definitely the one that she hasn't read yet that she wants to know if she should read. I just know because it only came out in June. And I just, for some reason, feel like she has not read this yet. And because I know that the Yearning For Her one, she has read and loved. And I assume that we're both the type of person that's not going to have loved Ninth House because I don't think Vanessa actually knew this when she gave me Ninth House, but I've soft DNF'd it in my Clue Readathon of last year. And so I'm slightly hesitant to get to that one, hence why I might be saving that one for last. Who knows? But I might actually stuff it in between the middle because I'll probably like the Katie Roberts one better. But I wanted to start out with this anyway because I knew this would be a slam run. or home dunk or slam dunk, you know, whatever it is. And it is. So I'm excited to get back to this, and I will try to, you know, actually update you and not just read this, because otherwise we'll be here, you know, forever. But I do have other updates as well. Of course, we'll talk about books. In the land of Rainy forgot that she pre-ordered a book, but she's very excited that she forgot that she pre-ordered this, because I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered the sequel as well, and so I will have the duology, and that is The Coven by Harper L. Woods. They were coming out with like a special sprayed edges edition. Like, I just think that's stunning. Now, I have actually already read this, but I haven't read the second book, The Cursed, but I'll have like a nice edition of that one as well. And I really loved this. It was a 5 stars for me. I read it last year during like the Smut Den readathon, and I can't remember exactly what it's about, but I do know that the ending really doesn't work for a lot of people when you find out the twist, but I don't know. It just worked for me. And so I would like to reread this again so that I will be fresh for the second one, because I don't remember. I haven't read this. I read this like a long, long time ago. But yeah, it's quick, easy, super excited that I have that. And this was very sweet. I have recently become a little bit better friends with Kirsten over from The Reading Nymph, which if you recognize that name, it's because we did Battle of the Booktubers. She's the one that made me read Akamath and Trial of the Sun Queen. And she sent me a book off my wish list. I'm like, you're so freaking sweet. It says, love doing Battle of the Booktuber with you. Your videos have been so fun to watch. I haven't read this. Hope you like it. And she sent me To Hunt a Demon King by Madeline Elliott, which I saw Tori read this, I think, a year ago, and that's why I picked it up. And this alone is what made me put it on my wish list. Little Red Riding Hood meets spicy romantasy in this witchy retelling of a classic fairy tale. I mean, do you have to tell me any more than that? I don't think you do. And so I think that Brittany would also like this book, because she is all about her retellings, and like Little Red Riding Hood, that just sounds fabulous to me. So I cannot wait to get to this. I hope that I absolutely love this, because it is the beginning of a series. I mean, why do I need to start another series? Who knows? It does have a little bit of cute fan art though, so I know, exciting. But you know, we're gonna hopefully get to this sooner than later. And also, I always keep my little notes. I put them in the book so that I remember who gave them to me, and then I don't unhaul books unless I absolutely hated it. Anyway, we're gonna keep going, because I don't want to sit here and be talking forever and ever and ever. But I'll see you in a bit. Hello friends, you're getting this update from a couch that is in my garage. Why is it in my garage? Because it's for theater, but we don't have anywhere else to store it. So when I have planning, or when I get early to school and things, I sit on the couch. It's almost time to start school, but I've already got all my lessons and everything set up. So I figured I was going to read a little bit. And so I got to 69% of Quicksilver. And I want to share so many thoughts. I am buddy reading this with my friend Amanda, and I just keep sending her all of these things, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could update in real time to talk about what's going on, but I don't want to spoil anything. I am just living for this book. I am eating this book up. It is leaving me no crumbs. It is just so good. Kingfisher is this angsty, pretty sad boy who, like, it also gets very dark. Like, there's like holding in like spicy times, which I have really been appreciating, but also just the things that he says. He is so freaking thoughtful, but just so I just love him so very much. I also think it's hilarious that there's like another love interest that I'm not going to really explain about, that like I just am kind of wondering what's going on with that. I'm intrigued. But anyway, it's so good. Oh my gosh. I love our main character, Cyrus. I love Kingfisher. I love all of the side characters. I don't even know what more I can say about this book. It is amping up, and I'm excited because there are other creatures in this world that we're starting to learn about. There was something that happened that I was like, oh my goodness. It's giving very Vampire Diaries life. I don't think that actually explains anything. So that's not really that big of a spoiler. But anyway, I feel like I'm not saying anything, but I feel like I'm also saying a lot. But I'm probably not actually saying anything. This book is going to become my entire personality. I can just feel it. It's just that type of book. It's time for a very important song. Conversations with Rainy on the road. Shh. And I am currently at a forever long stoplight because school is back in session. And so I can look at the car because we're literally going a mile an hour. Anyway, here's what's happening. I finished Quicksilver last night. Needless to say, it's a 5 stars. It very, very, very probable that it's my best book of the year. That book was fantastic. That book was so good. I loved everything about it. The last 100 pages had me nervous for my little life, for everybody. There were things I found out that I was so excited about. Carrion has my whole entire heart. If you know Carrion, like, he's great. Of course, I absolutely am obsessed with Kingfisher and with Cyrus. I find it funny because the main character's name is like Cyrus, and like it sounded a lot like my sister's name, Cirrus, and so I just kept being like, oh, my sister's the main character, which is really funny. This book, it had everything that a romantasy should have. Like, enemies to lovers, a medium burn, I'd say, not slow burn. It was just so sweet. There were such tender moments. There were also really great fight scenes. The spice was spicing. Just everything about this book is what romantasies should have. And I'm so surprised that this is a debut for fantasy romance. It's not a debut for this author because she writes dark romance, but like it's her first fantasy romance, and I'm just so surprised. I thought it was absolutely spectacular. This Kingfisher is just so fantastic, and there was this stuff that went on with tattoos, and I am a tattoo girly, and I was very much here for it. Okay, I don't know how much more I can say about this book to convince you to pick up this book, especially because there is no audio right now, and the audio doesn't come out until October. And then I just realized that book 2 is coming out in October, which means I hope that the audiobook for that is also going to come out at the same time, so that I can like do a reread and then also read this, because like I just can't believe this. First off, I was a little frustrated when Vanessa gave me this one because there was no audiobook, and I was like, how am I going to read an over 600 page book like while I'm back at work? But I made it happen, and it's going to be probably my best book of the year. So this vlog is starting off with a banger. I'm not going to lie. I don't think anything's going to top it. Ninth House, I've already soft DNF'd before, so I'm scared. Yearning For Her, don't know how I'm going to feel about monster smut, but I can't imagine that it's a better written book than Quicksilver. But knocked it out of the park so far. This is a fabulous book. Hello friends, towel is on the head, as one always is, and I don't have the most promising of news. So I have started Ninth House, once again, second try, gonna give it a whirl, and I am currently 58 pages, chapter 4. Forgot that I had my box in chat open. So I'm 58 pages in, I'm on chapter 4, which is further than I got the last time. I'm just bored. Maybe this book is too intellectual for me. I understand for the most part what's going on. Oh, what am I saying? I don't understand. I don't know. I don't want to DNF this book again. I want to like this book. Okay. I'm gonna keep trying, okay? I'm gonna keep trying. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna keep trying, but I'm probably gonna take a little bit of a break from this and read Pits and Poison, which is the second book in my Peaches and Honey duology that we're reading this month for my book club, the Tortured Readers book club, and I feel like I need a little break in between the two. You won't actually see me like talk about my thoughts in this because this is not for this vlog, but I'm really loving this duology. So that's that, but I'll probably switch over to that and then come back to Ninth House, see if we can reacquaint ourselves, and then we'll go from there. Although, since we're here, why don't we talk about cute Halloween decor that I bought? Because Target done got me. Target got me. The dollar section of Halloween has arrived. I got this cute little candy corn squishy. I feel like I need him in my life. He can sit on my lap for this next part. And then they had this campfire, so like you have to build it. And it comes with like marshmallows and stuff, but I figured I could use this for my classrooms for if we're going to do like campfire songs or whatnot. I thought that could be really cute. So I bought that for my classroom. Bought this little ghosty. He turns on, so I can turn him on in the night, and right now he's just sitting up on my shelves. And then one of my other decorations that you can't see right now, these were each like $1 and they had like 10 of them, but I only bought 4. They're like witches little bottles and they have different things in them. Like this is witches brooms and it has little brooms in it. And then we have a feather in this one, and this is the Hoot of Old Elixir Feather. And then this one is All Seeing Eyes. And then this one is Vampire Bites. So I absolutely love that. And so I got these and I'm just putting them on my shelves to make them all cute and stuff. But yeah, so I'm going to try one more time with Ninth House. And you're either going to see, you know, a progression of I've made significant progress in this book, or you're going to hear me DNF. Yes, my hair is still in the towel. I'm just so lazy. It's not even that long because after this clip, I was just like, okay, I need to make a decision. I'm running out of time. I have a couple of days left. I need to decide. And so I decided to just keep going with Ninth House. Was that my best decision? No. I read one more chapter, so I'm now on page 72. It's a DNF. The second time, DNF. I just can't get into this series. And I know Brittany loves it, but then again, that's not surprising. So like, if she loves it, then I'm gonna not like it, right? We only agree on so much. Although normally we agree on Dark Academia because we both loved If We Were Villains. But you know, to each their own. And we loved In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. But this one just didn't cut it. And I'm very sad about it. I do think this is the one that Vanessa didn't like. I just don't see her liking this, but I could be totally wrong, but I don't think I am wrong because I know I'm right with the other two. So like, I'm not wrong. It's just tragic, alas. I tried my darndest. I tried my darndest. So I'm sad. We're going to move on with our lives. You'll probably see some B-roll to like break the sadness up. And then we're going to get on to the final book, Yearning for Her. Pumpkin spice frappuccino.
Grande pumpkin spice frappuccino.
And a.
You want it with or without coffee?
Oh, with coffee. Alright, thank you. Alright, time for the first pumpkin spice of the season. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, man, that's good. Alright, friends, you know what time it is. Conversations with Rainy in the Gosh. Okay, so I'm at the post office right now. It's a Thursday, and I actually am home because baby girl couldn't go to school because she had diarrhea more than once, and so they consider that as her being sick, and so she wasn't allowed to go to school today. So I had to stay home. She's in the back. Very mad that we're not moving. So I'm probably going to give this update as we're driving. But anyway, so I came to the post office. I shipped a book. One of the books that I talked about in my book haul, I sold on Pango. I just shipped the book, and so now we are headed on a couple more errands. I need to go to Michael's to get markers and also a new poster board so that I can remake my what is it called? Oh my gosh, why can't I think of anything? My Friends themed trivia game, my TBR board, because it has lived its last life. So I'm on my way to do that. We're also going to Books A Million to get the second book in the the Raven Kennedy series, Guild Plated Prisoner, because that was the only book that wasn't available at the bookstore when I bought the rest of them for free for my book haul. And something tells me I'm going to want to binge that series soon, so that's why I'm getting the second book. And then we're going to the store to get some fruit, and we're doing a couple errands. And then I have open house tonight for Lincoln that I need to go to, and then circus, so it's a busy day. However, I do want to come in and say, very sad, we are DNFing the third book for this vlog. So we've DNF'd 2, Yearning for Her. Let's have a chitty chat. I have not come on to talk about this book. I DNF'd at 12%. And at first I thought it was me. Like, maybe I'm just being too harsh because, like, it's a monster smut book. Like, how harsh can I judge? But then the audio was beyond awful. And, like, the words that were being said. So I sent in some audio messages to, like, Neva, Brittany, and Kelsey, the besties. And Neva was like, girl, I read smut all the time, and this is some of the worst smut I've ever read. Like, this is beyond bad. And so when Neva says that, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm probably right. It probably is a bad written book. So anyway, it was not good. It was just so beyond cringe. The whole thing is about this girl that she is in love with this guy, and all she wants is for him to marry her. And they've been dating for a couple of years. And so they're at this, like, really nice restaurant, and she thinks he's about to propose, and he basically says, I'm here to introduce you to my other lover, because he's polyamorous, or so he says. And the other lover didn't know, or the other lover assumed that she knew that they were going to become a threesome, and she didn't know, so they both dump him because they think he's a terrible jerk. And so she's all upset, and she goes outside of the restaurant, and there's a guy that she had seen before she went into the restaurant that was just staring her down, and he's still there after, and he's basically flirting with her, and it's like, I know what'll cheer you up, I want to bang you. And they immediately, like, get right to it, and the flirting is awkward, and just it just the whole thing is weird, and the way that he, like, doesn't really give her consent. He's just like, this is gonna happen, and she's just like, I don't know, and he's like, no, this is what's happening. And I'm just like, no. It gave me the ick from early on, and the way that they talk, I might have to insert an audio clip for you because it's just so bad. It was so beyond bad. I could not get on board with this, and you know, I probably could have finished it because it's like, I don't know, it's like a 7-hour audiobook, but do I want to waste my time doing that? No. Am I sad that I spent $7 on the Whisper Sync? Yes, I am. But, you know, lesson learned. It was not a good book, unfortunately. It just didn't work for me. So I'm very sad. Out of 3 books, I only really loved one. But the one that I loved is, like, literally going to be one of my best of the year. So, like, I feel like that was a win in and of itself. And I already told Vanessa that these 2 DNFs were coming. So, like, she was aware. It's just a Leandra situation all over again. Oh, I'm so sorry. You never know how these collabs are going to go. You honestly never know. Okay, friends, I'm finally sitting down to, like, close out this vlog, but I figure I did go shopping and do all the things, so I figured I'd show you what I got. So first I went to the bookstore, and I did get the book that I came for, Glint by Raven Kennedy. So now I have books 1 through 4, and I need to get book 5, which is out right now, and book 6 is about to come out. But it's funny, this one's like 400 pages, and then the next book's like 800, so we doubled. And then I got a book that I didn't really come for, but it was out early. It comes out September 3rd, and it was out, and so, like, it was meant to be. And it is a book I'm reading next month for Tori's Who Did This To You book club, and that's The Immortal Dark by Tigress Girma. Like, look at this. If you don't know what it says, no soul can enter without an invitation. Eloise, she's sticking cards into a guitar. Look at that. This is, like, beautiful. Oh my goodness. Seek mind above blood, and if you must bleed, use it as ink. Whoever designed this did a fabulous job, and I'm so freaking excited. All I know is it's a lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. Tell me less. So, I did do that. And then we went to Michael's, and I got some Tombow markers to redo my TBR board. So, I let Eloise choose which ones I got, so I got the tropical colors, which honestly really worked well. And then let me show you what the board looked like. Now, I'm not done with it yet. Oh, I don't know where I put it. Ah! The board was on its last leg, okay? Like, this is so janky. It needed a refresh. Hence, why I didn't do post-it notes and I did this. I think this looks so much better. I haven't drawn the pictures yet for the lightning round, and I might just stick the pictures on for September and then draw them. I don't know if I'm going to have time to draw them before I have to film this. This is infinitely better. Much better with that. And then where else did we go? Oh, and then we went to the store and I got some fruit for her and then chicken for tonight because we're making quesadillas. But anyway, I'm here to wrap up this vlog and let you know that Quicksilver was a banger. Absolutely fantastic. 6 stars. Like, fabulous book. One of my top 3 books of the year. I ate this shit up. I loved it. And I was excited because book number 2 was supposed to come out in October, and now there is no release date, and I am very sad. Okay? I'm sad. I hate when indie authors do this, but I get why they're doing it. Oh no! Eloise! Who's ruining the ones that I needed. Anyway, it's fine. I'll get over it. But I'm sad that I didn't like Yearning For Her, and I kind of knew I wasn't going to love Ninth House just because I had soft DNF'd it already. But Vanessa, thank you for recommending me these books. I'm so glad that I got this one out of them all, and I really hope that if you haven't read this yet, you get to it because you're going to have a fantastic time with it. But I do still stand by what I said, which I can't close out this vlog yet because we haven't even seen the reveal. So we're about to watch the reveal. But if I was to go into this, this is the one that she hasn't read. One more time, and Yearning For Her is the one that she read and loved because she did interview the author, and I did see that. And then the one that she hasn't read, she has read and she didn't like was Ninth House, is what I assume. So let's see if I was right. All right, let's watch this video and see if I was right or not. Here, let me make sure I'm screen recording, and here we go.
Hi Rainy! So I'm going to reveal what books I chose for you and what I kind of thought about them. So I don't think it was any surprise because I think I outed myself out right around the time I actually recommended some of these books to you. But my 5-star read that I recommended to you was Yearning For Her by Tiffany Roberts. I absolutely love this book, and I just, you know, really loved it because I kind of resonated a lot with the main female character. Obviously not in the whole fae, falling in love with a fae kind of thing, but just like purple hair, plus size girl. I had a lot of fun with this book. This was my 5-star read. And then my book that I haven't read yet that I would really love to read, that I probably will rate very highly, is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. And I saw that you were reading this, and it is a very chunky book, I know, but I have heard nothing but really good things about this, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this book, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And then obviously the last book that I thought that you might enjoy that I didn't necessarily enjoy was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I really tried to get into it, but on my Goodreads review, I included the link to, somebody did a chapter by chapter summary because I just didn't understand the book. I don't know if it was like too high level for me or something. I don't know, maybe I don't like dark academia. No idea. But I just did not like the book as much. I will say though, I did like Hellbent more than I liked Ninth House. So if you choose to continue, there is some sort of saving grace in a way. But thanks again for doing this collab with me, and I can't wait for you to see what I thought about the books that you chose for me.
Okay, so I was 100% right. I get it right every single time. I never get it wrong. I never get it wrong. I never get it wrong. Wrong. However, she did out herself. But yes. Unfortunately, I did not finish Ninth House, so I will not be moving on to Hellbent, and I'm probably going to put my copies up on Pango. I might give Ninth House one final try because I really want to appreciate it. I just feel like I keep reading it at the wrong time. I don't know. Also, Vanessa, you 100% will like Quicksilver. You really do need to get to it. Although that was a chunky read without an audiobook. Like, you did me dirty there, but it's fine. Everything's fine. And that is the end of this vloggy vlog. If you got to the end, let's put a butterfly emoji because butterflies are important in Quicksilver, and that was my favorite book of the vlog. Let me know if you would want to read any of these books. Let me know another booktuber that I should do this collaboration with. And with that, my friends, I will see you in another video soon.